What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Martin Gore. And we're going back to his Counterfeit EP 1989, which you should not confuse, as I initially did, with his 2003 album Counterfeit, though I think the way that's stylized is Counterfeit squared. In any case, this is in 1989. I apologize, I know this deep dive has been dormant for a while, but it's back on my radar. Shout out to Adam once again for making Martin Gore material and much else available. And we're going to listen to Never Turn Your Back on Mother Earth. I certainly agree with the phrase. I would say my inclination, therefore, is to think that the lyrics may be about, industrial or environmental harm, potential global catastrophes. Now, fair to say, like, the last several decades, there are environmental and indeed global challenges and potential catastrophes that have been persistent, even accelerating or exacerbating. But also in the late 80s, when this would have been written, there are things like oil spills, like, the Exxon Valdez, like that was a notable incident which I think provoked a lot of outrage in the US and perhaps worldwide about, the way that oil was shipped and, protected in these big cruisers and so on. So an environmental song in the late 80s might have specific references like particular to that era, although it might just be about more generally humans don't go too far down the path of industrial technology and production such that you sully the very environment in which you're trying to, create these new things. So that would be my expectation lyrically. Sonically, not to say I don't expect to hear any synths, or that's a confusing way to say it. I expect that we may hear some electronic sounds, but given the title, I would expect more natural instruments. I would expect more of a, if not acoustic, at least more traditional set of musical elements rather than, a four to the floor, hyper electronic, techno sounding industrial synthesis. So yeah, that would be my expectation, though once again, I wouldn't be surprised that there are some keyboard-based sounds. In any case, let's find out what Martin has to say about it. This is Martin Gore from his 1989 Counterfeit EP, and the track is called Never Turn Your Back on Mother Earth.
When she's on her best behavior, don't be tempted by her favors. Never turn your back on Mother Earth. Towns are held from A to B by hands that look so smooth to me. Never turn your back on Mother Earth. Grasp at straws that don't want grasping. Gaze at clouds that come down crashing. Never turn your back on Mother Earth. 3 days and 2 nights away from my friends. Amen to anything that brings a quick return to my friends. To my friends.
Well, I was wrong in one respect. And even lyrically, I'm not sure.
Never turn your back on Mother Earth. Will I admit I was unfaithful, but now I'll be more faithful. Never turn your back on Mother. Never turn your back on
what I was thinking sonically. A bit more electronic, at least, percussively. It did actually have a steady kick beat. But yeah, lyrically, I wonder if it's less, broad like I was thinking, and maybe more that like, if you turn your back on Mother Earth, it can strike when you're not paying attention. The idea that something which has a lot of power and therefore can be very dangerous, you gotta kind of keep your eye on it. Like people talk about that with the sea, like never turn your back on the sea because you could end up being swallowed into it or pulled asunder. So I was wondering if it was actually more incidental and more like Mother Earth as a threat. And indeed, I don't know if I said Mother Nature when I was talking about the title in advance. But yeah, ultimately, you can excuse me perhaps for confusing the phrase if I did say that. But yeah, ultimately, I'm not quite sure what to make of the lyrics, even if we are talking about clouds and things that are part of nature, part of planet Earth that is not related to humans. But I wondered, as it was playing out, if it was actually quite different from what I was thinking in advance. Either way, I enjoy his vibratos. They come at the end of those extensions and they're sort of like quick little quivers. So, again, it's weird. Like, it's a song that, as I hear it, it's like, man, that could be a Depeche Mode song. If you could put that on a Depeche Mode album and it would fit very well. Number one, it's Martin Gore in 1989, so I suppose it's not that surprising. But at the same time, I wonder sonically if I'm saying that more because of his voice and less because of the sonics. Like 89, that's right before Violator, so I wonder, like, would that track fit on Violator? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Again, I was a kid, so I was just eating up whatever, oh, there's a new Depeche Mode album, fantastic. And I do remember, like, Violator was the first one where I was like, oh, it has a different sound. I like it, but, like, it definitely has a different sound. So even, at the time, as a kid, I was thinking, well, Depeche Mode sound is changing. So then to say that a Martin Gore tune from that time, would it fit on a Depeche Mode record or not? Well, it depends on, Depeche Mode looking backward or Depeche Mode looking forward. Either way, cool tune. Keen to hear what people have to say about this one. Once again, shout out for the patience. I know I've been away for a long time. And again, I get it. Like, different people have different opinions about solo projects for groups that they are least fond of in different periods. Again, I know Depeche has a long and complicated history, and not all fans like all different eras, but I'm here for all of it, and ultimately I'm keen to hear more of his music. Indeed, like, I've been going through some Vince Clarke stuff, and recently, I've become aware of some of the other stuff he's done under different names, so as I grow older, I continue to be interested in the musical, the bands and the musicians who, inspired me as a kid, so that includes Martin Gore. Shout out to this EP, shout out to Adam for sharing the EP, and again, much else. Let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.